What has changed this time then? It's not just about threats. Israel has been hit also by Iran, and how, especially in the past 2 days. You must have heard of the Fatah missile. There's been massive chatter as the images surfaced of the Fatah missile. What is Fatah 1, Fatah 2? Why is it such an important boost in Iran's arsenal? It's the first hypersonic missile that Iran has been able to have. Fatah 1 has a length of about 12 meters, but the range is 1,400 kilometers. And the speed, because that's where it gets very significant, is about Mach 13 to 15, which means about 5 times the speed of sound. It can carry 200 kilograms of explosives, equipped with hypersonic glide vehicle warhead as well. But here, why the Fatah gets important. It can maneuver mid-flight. It can maneuver mid-flight to avoid interception. Because what does Israel really boast about? It is the Iron Dome, their defense systems. And one of the reasons that Fatah has been, though it was Fatah 2, but Fatah has been able to manage to hit Israel without interception. It's designed to get past most advanced missile defense systems as well. Now, this one was used by Iran in 2024. Remember that when last year also the conflict that was escalating with regard to Hamas, when Jerusalem had to be struck, that is when Iran had used this one. Fatah 2 is being discussed right now, the one that hit barely about 2 to 3 days ago. This is called Iran's super weapon. It's equipped with hypersonic glide vehicle warhead. It can again maneuver and glide at hypersonic speed. It's a liquid fuel rocket propellant that is used in this case. So we are showing the illustration of what the Fatah 2 looks like. More than Fatah 1, 1,500 kilometers range. Again, Mach 15. 5 times the speed of sound, length about 12 meters for the super weapon of the Iranian regime, 200 kilograms of explosives that it can carry. Again, it's capable of trajectory changes. So Israel may try to intercept it following the directions, but that can change midway, again to evade defense systems, which it successfully did. There is an aerodynamic control that allows steering within the atmosphere. A quick question on that to you, Sandeep, because I saw a lot of chatter on that. It gained a lot of discussion about what precisely is the Fatah and how can a missile of Iran hit a country that literally boasts about being able to have its Iron Domes that the world has been looking at.
Well, Pooja, Iran is one of those countries that has invested heavily in long-range ballistic missiles. North Korea is the other country. In fact, there are just a handful of countries that have hypersonic weapons. It's the United States, it's Russia, it's China, North Korea, and Iran is possibly the 5th country to introduce hypersonic missiles. Now, hypersonic missiles, they take off into space and then they re-enter. And when they re-enter the atmosphere, they come in at very high speeds, approaching the speeds that you mentioned, like something like 15 times the speed of sound. And at that speed, that terminal descent of that warhead, it becomes almost impossible for missile interceptors to intercept this missile. And in fact, it's not just the Iron Dome, but Israel relies on the Arrow defense systems. Now, the Arrow interceptors have a range of something like 3,000 kilometers. They are designed to intercept these hypersonic missiles, long-range missiles, when they are out in space maneuvering towards their targets. Now, Israel doesn't have enough Arrow interceptors. It's running out of interceptors, as the reports suggest. And that is where it needs the United States to come in with additional long-range missile interceptors. So hypersonic missiles are literally some of the final weapons that Iran has in its arsenal. It has built several of these weapons over the last couple of years. This is primarily because Iran does not have an air force of any consequence. Its air force is more than 50 years old. It's creaky. The planes were last bought in the 1970s. And they're all American aircraft, incidentally, from the Shah of Iran's time. So Iran has offset its weakness of not having an air force or even a navy by creating this massive force of ballistic missiles. It's got 13 types of ballistic missiles, both liquid and solid fueled. And it's got drones. It's a drone power of some standing. It's exporting drones to the Russian Federation and even in its ballistic missiles. So Iran's primary weapons of first strike weapons are these ballistic missiles.
Interesting, especially at a juncture what you're telling us about the comparison between their air force and instead what they have been building. Finally, they've used it. But do they have more in their arsenal? And now we'll be tracking more on that. Sandeep, thank you very much as always for your perspective and expertise with regard to helping understand. Remember, eventually it's about warfare. Why are these new missiles, weapons? It's like a war we've never seen before in the past few years. A lot is changing.